flow that is this habit that I started building more. Every time I feel like just talking to the camera and just speaking my mind, just get up and go for a walk and record. Like I just got up not too long ago and I had this thought on my mind and I said instead of just making it here in the crib, just come go for a walk. Beautiful nature, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. One thing that I've noticed so far, major difference from being back in the States versus when I was over in Costa Rica. Because where I was at in Costa Rica, one thing I told myself when it comes to this traveling, because I'm going to be traveling a lot more, but I told myself I don't want to go to tourist spots because I want to be in the culture. I want to be around where I'm like one of the only people that's not native there. I don't want to be around a bunch of tourists because that's defeats the whole purpose of me traveling to experience the culture of the other countries and the other places that I go to. So I went to this place called Uvita, which is literally in the mountains. Like literally in the mountains to the point where the mountains were so high. I was so high up in the mountains that the mountains were higher than the clouds. And one thing about being over there, for being over here, that I noticed, the air quality is night and day. The air quality there is just so fresh, so pure, versus over here is just different. That's just a random thought that popped in my mind as I literally just started walking because it really just hit me just now. What I wanted to talk about was one thing I've noticed and observed, and that's why I'm so grateful for God for humbling me and always keeping my mind centered on Him, because it is so easy to take the power that He's given you and to use it for selfish gains, to put yourself in this high seat of authority as if you are like the hierarchy. Because what I've noticed with a lot of social media, a lot of people speaking, not even just social media, but it's easy when you start getting blessed with things and you start getting into a position to speak as if you've never been through that, what the person that you're speaking to is going through. To speak as if you never made mistakes, to speak as if you never failed, if you were hard-headed at once, to speak as if your way is the right way because you made it. And God has really humbled me so much because I look at where I'm at now. And the reason why I say this because I'm experiencing how God is sending so much more people my way. The amount of people God has been sending my way this past month, not just the people that He's been sending my way, but the amount of blessings that He's been doing in my life, traveling, the people, the opportunities, the things that are happening in my life. It is just all thanks to God. And the more and more people that He sends me, the more closer that I actually get to Him, because I'm like, yo, God, you called me to be in this position. You called me to be this light to others. You called me to be this figure. All I am is just your servant. You're just using me. And I literally just look at my life like this, right? God has told me to just have faith in Him, right? It's like a trust fall. That's literally what I look at my life as. It's like one big trust fall. God is opening, holding out His arms, and every time He tells me to take this leap, it's okay. I just fold my arms and just fall back, and I trust in God that He's gonna do that. And that's what my life is built off of. My life is built off of trust falls. The thing about it is, I've noticed something. There'll be times where God will tell me to take those trust falls, but the distance is a lot different. Meaning, I may be a little bit higher than the first time, and He may say, "Trust me." And it's like when you look back, like like you look back and it's, that's a little, if I fall, I could really hurt myself. Versus some of the other leads where it's like, just fall back, and I'm like, all right, I got you. Yeah, that's nothing. Like, cool, I can fall, I'm good. But it's some of those leaps that God does in my life where it's like I'm at a higher height, and he's like, "Yo, fall back, trust me." And I'm looking back, I'm like, "You sure you got me right? You sure you got me? All right, I'm a fall." And I've done this so many times, and even doing that, this is something that I'm constantly keep improving on, right? Even though I've trusted in God, and God, I have taken those leaps, and what those leaps, those trust falls look like for me, dropping out of college to pursue this day trading route, dropping out of college a couple of weeks because I got into trading, right? It was in April 20th, like April in 2021. And it was like towards the end of like April 20th, roughly around there. And we got out of school May 3rd, May 9th. So within a week's time frame, I went from being in Clemson saying, yo, I'm about to be this mechanical engineer, da 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 da, to, yo, I'm about to drop out of college and I'm about to go all in on this thing that I barely know about. That was one of the leaps that I took. So many other leaps that I've taken in my life. The leap of, let's say, starting my own business, the leap of traveling. But even still to this day, right, there are times when God would tell me to take leaps. And I still, at times, God, you got me? And I want to get to the point. And I'm really, really, really improving on this. And how I'm doing this is the more that I actually just fall. Just take the leap. Just take action on it. I really want to get to, it's like, God, you do that. God tells me you do this. Yes, sir. Boom. Because I read about all these people, right, in the Bible. For example, Moses. God told Moses to go speak to the people, and Moses was like, nah, I got a speech problem. I can't do this. But God said, I'm God. Like, you don't understand. Like, I do this. Like, I got you. And I want to, and then you got people like Joseph. Joseph is like literally one of my favorite stories in the Bible, if not the favorite story to me in the Bible. Because everything in my life can relate to Joseph. Every single conversation that I have can always relate to that. But Joseph had such faith in God in different environments. With his gift, when his brothers betrayed him, when he was in Potiphar's, I don't know how to pronounce it, but when he was in the house, God was with him. When he was in the prison, God was with him. When he was in front of Pharaoh, God was with him. And Joseph had so much faith in his gift that he didn't waver whatsoever. He said, yo, these dreams, this is what God does. This ain't for me. This is what God says. It wasn't, I think God says this. This is what God says. I want that type of confidence, that type of faith that Joseph had. So I keep on striving. And when God tells me to take the leaps, take the action, yes, sir, I got you. And in doing so, I see how God levels up my life so much. There's nothing for me to be afraid of. The Bible tells me this so many times, be not afraid. God did not give me the spirit of fear, but of love, but of power, of love and a sound mind. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you. God done told me 50,000 times in the Bible that I got you. So that was just my job to take action. Faith without works is dead. So when God says to do something, yes, sir. And I've been doing that a lot more recently without any hesitation. And God has been taking my life to a completely different level. And I say this to say, back to where I'm saying, like, God is putting so many people, so many opportunities in my life. And I have to keep myself grounded and centered and understand that it's not about me in the first place. And that's why I'm so grateful that God, he had to show me this first. He had to tell me, because God already showed me. He said, yo, like, he showed me that he showed me what my life is going to be. The people that he was going to send, he showed me that there's going to be more people that he's going to send, spreading the word across the world, planting seeds. I know that's what he's going to do. So I know that there's going to be more followers. There's going to be more likes. There's going to be more comments, more views. I know those things are coming, but that's not the metrics that I'm focused on. And that's something that I'm really drilling and instilling in my mind, is those aren't the metrics that I'm focused on. I don't care about looking at an analytics and see I got X, Y, and Z likes, X, Y, and Z views, X, Y, and Z comments. All I care about is the seed was planted. A soul could have been potentially saved. All I care about is letting people know who it was that is doing this. I don't ever want anybody to look up to me. I don't want anybody to, I want to be like Seer. No, I want everybody to understand that this is God doing this in my life. Every single thing that's happening now in my life and every single thing that's going to happen in my life from this day forward, just understand that this is not me. This is all God. All I'm literally doing is just following the instruction manual. As simple as that. God gave me an instruction manual, and all I'm doing is just following the instructions. And He's doing everything else. It's His instruction manual, not mine. All I'm doing is just listening to Him. And that's why God is blessing me. That's why 5 years from now, a year from now, I could come back to this video and I'll watch this video and I will be in a whole different level, completely different level from where I'm at now. God is leveling me up, gonna level me up in so many different ways. And I want people to see that 5 years from now. They look at where I'm at and it's like, yo, Seer, and it's, no, come back to this video July something in 2026. It's like July 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere like that in 2026, and go back to this and understand that it is not me. It is all God. God is the one that is doing all of this in my life. And if you just trust in Him and just take that leap and have that faith in Him, not man, He will get you to where you want to get to in life. Trust the signs that He's giving you, the people that He brings in your life. Because think about it, nobody can do it alone. Let me switch my hands real quick. This one is getting tired. But nobody can do it alone. So God will send people your way to uplift you, to help you. Jesus couldn't do it alone. There's not a single person in the Bible that did it alone. They all had somebody. They all had somebody that was there to help them. So God, and for me, I did not do any of this alone. God has sent so many people in my way, so many brothers, so many sisters, so many people that have helped me and that are helping me continue to keep leveling up. For example, my aunt, she is of God. God has chosen her and God is doing so much in her life. And God has planted her in my life. Think about how amazing God is when you're being obedient to Him. My aunt was not this 15 years ago. She's a travel agent and she works at the airport. And think about it. I know that one of the biggest things that God has told me to do in my life, and that has made the biggest change in my life, and something I've always said that I was going to do, the biggest dreams that I've always had in my life was from traveling. It was never like really being tied down, being in one space. It was always traveling. And my aunt is a travel agent and she works at an airport. She was not a travel agent and working at the airport 15 years ago. This happened not recently, not like last year, but in the past few years. It's like God has been lining all of this up. And I see the works that God is doing in her life. And with that trip that I took to Costa Rica, it would not have been possible if it wasn't for her help. The stress-free trip that I had, she literally helped me find an Airbnb, book the flight. And keep in mind, this was all on the day that I left. I left on that Tuesday. And literally on that Tuesday, it was like 10 in the morning. So 10 in the morning on that Tuesday, booked the Airbnb for the next day, for the next week, that same day. Bought the flights and the tickets that left that same day at Tuesday at 5. Everything. And secured a rental that same day. All of this in one day. It wasn't like a pre-planned thing. All of this was done in one day. She helped me with that. When I had the situation with my delay and I ended up missing my flight back to Charleston, and I had to stay in New Jersey for a day, literally on the spot, right then and there, she helped me get my flight switched to the next morning. She got me a hotel that same exact night and everything, just like that. It made it so stress-free. And the fact that I have someone like that in my life while traveling, somebody that's close to me and that's of God, can do nothing but God. can do nothing but thank God. And then today, on top of that, I have been invited to do a podcast. So I'm going to do a podcast 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock later on today. The opportunities, the things that God is doing in my life is truly a blessing. Because I always told myself I wanted to start my own podcast as well. And that's something I want to do, travel the world and just do podcasts. Potentially meet up with my one-on-one clients, my one-on-one students, my community members, and just do podcasts. Travel to their country, travel to their state, and rent out a Airbnb or rent out a place and set up the equipment and do a podcast with them and just travel the world and do that. Or have one of my students or fly one of my students out to one of the locations that I'm at and then boom, do a podcast, spend the days, spend the weeks with them. That's something I've always wanted to do, and to be able to get an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than me is truly, truly a blessing, man. And I always, once again, have to say, I just thank God for everything that he's doing in my life. And I just have to give him all the praise and credit. So, about to finish this walk, literally walking down to the curb, and just wanted to share this message. Love you all so much. I will catch you all in the next video.